damage, but that's just gonna regenerate. I'm not sure you killed any drones, maybe one, but you know, it really was not a worthwhile drop for you, especially when you had the information ahead of time that he did have those spine crawlers there, and so you definitely should have backed out earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see now it looks like I am expanding and transitioning into a 2-4 Banshee build.
Yeah, definitely a good idea to get our expansions down now. Obviously, both our opponents had theirs already, which is.
Yeah, so we were a little bit behind.
I'm not sure that's something we realized that. I still did not know that Eichendorff had his expansion out, but I'm getting mine a little bit late. I had the minerals for it, but you know, as you can see, that dropout or my attack out front obviously did lose. It was pretty close battle, I think, but the stem, he was able to use the stem and you know, sniped most of my units with only a couple of his left. So I decided to pull back my attack and just macro up a little bit. Send out a marine to the watchtower. Always a good idea to keep control of the watchtowers. Have a good idea what's going on. And as we notice, Axion's moving out with a second dropship.
Yes, and it looks like the scout of the Banshees that I have on the scan has caused Kale to throw up quite a few spine crawlers around his natural, as well as Eichendorff to throw up some missile turrets. So there was definitely some fear of those Banshees coming in. Maybe, well, I did have quite a few. I want to say maybe an overreaction to throw up that many, because if you have 1 or 2 to detect, it's a substantial Roach Hydra force here that could easily pick it off. But let's see if I can do a little bit better this time with this dropship.
Yeah, and as you can see, Kale's moving out his Zerg army across the map. I think that's almost just about in range of the Zelnego watchtower, so we will see that coming if he does choose to move out. But right now it looks like he's kind of chilling there. Yep, as you said, the air defense going up around both players' bases as the fear of the Banshees definitely is hitting them. And right now I would have to say that the advantage is probably to them, but here we go with the dropship.
And let's just switch to the unit tab for a second for this drop. And we'll see right now that Eichendorff has 42 SCVs.
And you're able to drop out just as the medevac gets sniped.
Oh, that's just not how you want to line. You do not want your SCVs in a line against Blue Flame Hellions, because that is exactly what will happen. I just killed 20 SCVs.
I mean, that was pretty epic. You got a bunch of hero Hellions here. You know, they each have 5 or 6 kills. You know, I don't know what exactly he was thinking. He moved them down towards your Hellions, whereas he should have moved them out back here, between his supply depots and his refinery. I don't know if he thought he was going to get a surround on your Hellions or what, but it's kind of strange play by him. It was good reaction, you know. He selected them all and moved them, but he moved them in the wrong direction. And I guess he probably, after he moved them, he probably went over to bring his army over, and kind of didn't realize that he just suicided all those forces, or all those SCVs, excuse me.
I really think that had they pushed right now, I think they would have been able to break us. You'd just gotten your siege tech going, and oh, actually, it looks like siege tech finished just in time for both of us, and we would have 6 tanks right there. I take that back. It's been a lot closer battle.
We do scout his army. You know, I did have the marine there, so we saw it coming. He does snipe the marine, but he moves out and actually throws a scan down just to make sure we saw what we saw. Pretty much a Roach and Hydra army, pretty powerful at this time. He has an overseer too, which is pretty smart actually on his part. You know, if his army got caught out of position, you know, look at this Banshee coming up right now. Imagine if they had, you know, been 10 seconds earlier and flew right over this left side of the map where he had just been scouting with his army. If they didn't have the overseer, these Banshees could have cloaked and gotten a bunch of kills before he was able to get out of there. So it was pretty heads-up play by him. We have to commend him for that. And Axion here flies over an expo for Kale.
Yep, and I would definitely say, as we can see here, I learned from my previous drops. I just started to get shot by spine crawler or spore crawlers and just backed right out.
Yep, yeah, it wasn't there. You know, don't force it if it's not there. So you're just gonna snipe this. You know, you see Kale moving his forces as quick as he can, trying to get over there, but you do take it down. And you get out of there pretty much for just in the nick of time. Pretty good control by you. You even cloak, you know, just to make sure. And that was good. And you know, he's really going all out. If you look at his force, if you look at the army tab right now, you know, he's got a pretty menacing force. Kale's at 179 under 196, so he's pretty massive right now. He's got a bunch of minerals and resources into his army. And Eichendorff's 87, so we're pretty much each just slightly above Eichendorff, but Kale's really got a pretty significant army right now, and If he'd chosen to move out earlier, we could have been in big trouble.
I would definitely say at this point we're behind. I mean, my +1 vehicle plating and weapons is about 2/3 done, and he is almost done with his +2/+2 for carapace and missile attack.
So yeah, in terms of upgrades, I think I was completely behind on upgrades. I don't believe I had any at this point. And for some reason, I threw down a reactor on my starport and started cranking out some Vikings. I guess I was worried about mutas. I don't know why. Playing against Zerg, I'm always fearful of mutas just because they can be pretty powerful against Terran. They snipe out your Expos. And I set these 2 Vikings over here on patrol, actually, just in case some kind of overlord came in to drop or scout or anything, to pick that off, or a medevac came from the Terran. And as you'll see, these Vikings will play a pretty big role later in the game. But it does seem that our opposing armies are moving out against us. A pretty menacing force here for the Zerg, and let's see, Eichendorff is loading up his, or is soon to be loading up his dropships at the front of his base to push out with a kind of a standard bio ball type army.
Yep. And it looks like I have my 3rd command center completed, and searching for a place to fly it. I haven't sent it in yet, but we do have quite the tank wall here. I've got to say, it's going to be pretty hard to break a Terran wall with about 13.
Yeah, I believe
tanks?
I think we each have 9 tanks actually. So pretty strong front door there. They throw down some scans and they see them. He throws down 3 scans. He sees pretty much our complete front door. If anything, there's actually could have had a few more tanks in the back that were unsieged that he could have brought up to the front. I did as well, so you can't fully blame him. But I threw down this missile turret, you know, just in case, you know, any kind of scout out, you know, any kind of cloaked units that try to came in here, or you know, if they've tried to burrow outside of our front door, you know, that could have been really big. And here's the Eichendorff's bio ball going down here, checking for an expansion, I assume. But Kale already had a roach here, so kind of strange play, not really necessary. But now he's loading them up, and Kale's moving out to the front of our base, and we're about to see a pretty big battle.
And that's really just what happens when you run into a wall of that.
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of tanks. My Marauders come in here. My computer is about to melt because of all the action that is going on right now. But pretty much we decimate his entire force. If you look at supply now, it's down to 77, under 200, when he was just maxed out, you know, only 1 minute ago. So, you know, pretty much fail on his part, and he leaves the game. And you know, that was really what it came down to. Is they had the information. They scouted our front door. They should have known better, and there was really no need to try to walk in the front door like that. And the GGs come, and Kale leaves the game.
Yeah, now like we're gonna to do, try to make this a trend. We could have done better now, and even what our opponents could have done better. I definitely think that, and I think Mish will agree with me, we were far behind on us.
Yes. Absolutely. I'm not even sure. I just had an armory down, and I was just getting both my vehicle armor and weapons upgrade. But definitely that was pretty late on my part, and it was good for you to keep ahead. But they were definitely way ahead on upgrades and way ahead on units.
Yes. Now I'd like to say that everyone could have expanded more in this game. Our macro just slipped. Every player, I mean, I think I have 4K minerals in the bank and 1.5K gas. But I'd just like to make a quick note on just the play style of Eichendorff and Kale, because they did scan, and they did see this massive wall of tanks we had. I would say that probably some of the best wall-breaking units are you can get a ghost, and you can nuke. That's good to get rid of these tanks. And they knew that we had very little anti-air defense. So were Kale to get 5 or 6 Broodlords, he could have taken out every single tank we had, and I don't know if we would have been able to react.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we had, what, I had probably less than 5 Marines. Let's look at the unit tab here. I had 2 Marines and 10 Vikings, so at least I was trying to get the Vikings out, and I guess the reasoning was, not only was I afraid of mutas, but we had to show that we did have some air to, you know, kind of keep them to go for the ground forces and force them to make a big mistake like trying to run up our front door like that. And oh, and I guess we did miss it, but these 2 Vikings over here were actually able to snipe a bunch of the medevac ships from Eichendorff. So if you're wondering why his army did not overrun our base while Kale pushed through the front door, It's because this one missile turret has 2 kills, so he killed two medevacs himself. I believe this one Viking has another kill. And let's see, where's my other? I thought I had another Viking somewhere, but oh, probably this missile turret has 1 kill. So there you go. He flew his medevacs right in here. They were able to kill them pretty much full of units. So, you know, you can never, you got to be paying better attention to that. I don't know, maybe if he's watching the fireworks out at the front door, but he needs to be paying better attention to that. And really, that drop could have been a difference, actually. We weren't well prepared. My tanks would have had decent range on that, but he would have been able to snipe this command center, snipe some of my factories. So it could have been really, really game changer right there.
Well, I think that's it for this game, and we hope you guys learned something.
We will see you, hope to see you again next time, and as always, keep getting better.